Steelers trade Melvin Ingram to Chiefs for 2022 sixth-round pick. The Kansas City Chiefs, at a disappointing 4-4 and ranked 29th in the NFL in total defense, made a move to improve ahead of Tuesday's 4 p.m. ET trade deadline. The club has acquired linebacker Melvin Ingram from the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a 2022 sixth-round draft pick. Ingram, 32, was in his first season with the Steelers after 9 with the Chargers. He's played on 62% of Pittsburgh's defensive snaps this season, but with only 1 start and limited production, 9 tackles, 1 sack. He's recorded 18 pressures as a pass rusher, per Pro Football Focus. He joins a Chiefs defense that has struggled this season, allowing 391.5 yards per game, and dealt with injuries along the defensive front. Linemen Frank Clark and Chris Jones have missed a combined 5 games. Jones has played through ligament damage in his wrist, while defensive back Tervarius Ward has missed 4 games. The defending AFC champions have struggled offensively of late, as well, including in Monday night's narrow win over the New York Giants. Ingram figures to make his debut when Chiefs play host to the Green Bay Packers on Sunday, 4:25 p.m. at Fox. Chiefs survive primetime showdown with Giants, improve to 500 on season. The Kansas City Chiefs didn't look great, but they did just enough to pull out a 3-point win, 20-17, against the New York Giants Monday night. Kansas City, Mo. The Kansas City Chiefs didn't look great, but they did just enough to pull out a 3-point win, 20-17, against the New York Giants Monday night. The Chiefs scored first on a touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill to make it 7-0. The Giants answer with a second-quarter touchdown to make it 7-7. Kansas City took a 4-point lead, 14-10, into halftime. In the second half, it wasn't pretty, but the Chiefs found a way to win despite turnovers and penalties. Kansas City defeated the Giants 2017. Mahomes finished 29 of 48 for 275 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Derek Gore finished with 48 yards and his first career touchdown. The Chiefs will host Green Bay next Sunday afternoon. Chiefs escape Giant scare with late field goal. Kansas City, Mo. Patrick Mahomes lamented 2 more turnovers and Chiefs coach Andy Reid a multitude of penalties, and just about everyone that stepped out of the Kansas City locker room vowed to turn around what's been a disappointing season. It almost sounded as if they'd lost to the Giants on Monday night. Instead, the scuffling Chiefs rallied behind 2 fourth-quarter field goals from Harrison Butker, including the go-ahead 34-yarder with 1:07 left, and beat downtrodden New York 20-17 to even their record after 8 games. "Listen, everything is not beautiful right now, but we're fighting through it," Reid said. "Our guys battled. They didn't give up on each other. They kept working at a time you could have just thrown your hands up and say, 'Man, things are just not working the way they're supposed to work. So we'll build on that. Let's keep going.'" Mahomes threw for 275 yards with a touchdown and an interception for the Chiefs, who along with 2 turnovers committed 12 penalties for 103 yards. Tyreek Hill had 12 catches for 94 yards and a score, and Mecole Hardman added 5 catches for 63 yards, including a 24-yard catch and run on the final drive that set Butker up for the go-ahead kick. "The guys are battling and trying to find ways to win," Mahomes said, "and tonight we did." Daniel Jones had 222 yards passing with 2 touchdowns and a pick for the Giants 2-6, but he also was sacked 3 times, including twice after the Chiefs kicked off with just over a minute left in the game. It was just the 4th win in 15 meetings for the Chiefs and their first since the 2013 season. "We have to eliminate the mistakes we made down the stretch," Giants coach Joe Judge said. "We can't allow a team like this to have extra opportunities. We can't rob ourselves a chance to have opportunities of our own." The Chiefs actually diced up the Giants on their opening drive, but for the fourth time this season Mahomes had a pass bounce off his intended target for an interception. This time, backup running back Jerick McKinnon. It was the 7th consecutive game Mahomes had thrown a pick and his league-leading 10th of the season. It also was an ominous sign for an offense that has done little to resemble its high-flying reputation. The Chiefs did score moments later after Jones threw the ball right back to them, but they struggled to get into their familiar offensive rhythm. Mahomes seemed to be in a different playbook than his wide receivers. Tight end Travis Kelce was rendered a non-factor by the New York defense and penalties began to pile up. In fact, the Chiefs turned almost entirely to the ground when they marched for their second touchdown. It was seldom used Derek Gore that carried 7 times for 43 yards before breaking the goal line for his first career score. The Giants, hardly dynamic in their own right, were the ones that often moved the ball at will. Without running back Saquon Barkley and wide receiver Kenny Golladay, both still sidelined with injuries, Jones was able to lean on Booker and his backup receivers to march 85 yards for an early touchdown, most of it coming when John Ross Rowan 3-beat safety Daniel Sorensen for a 50-yard catch that rendered his pass interference penalty moot. The Giants added an 86-yard drive later in the first half that produced a field goal. And early in the fourth quarter, Melvin Ingram beat Sorensen to the pylon for a touchdown catch that gave the Giants a 17-14 lead. Somehow, the scuffling Chiefs found a way to claw back into the game. They ground their way to a field goal midway through the fourth quarter. Then, their much-maligned defense held on third down and Giants punter Riley Dixon sent a wobbler out of bounds to give them prime field position. "Hello," Operator Judge said 2 of the timeouts New York wasted were the result of headsets that kept malfunctioning, and that it's a problem that has happened in just about every game this season. "There was one point we tried to go back to the old equipment, and were told we couldn't do that," Judge said. "I don't want to make this all about headsets. That's now why we lost. But I'll say this, whoever is in charge of this, they better fix it fast." Injury report Giants W.R. Sterling Shepard, quad, and Dante Petty's shoulder left in the second quarter. W.R. Kadarius Toney departed in the fourth quarter with a thumb injury. Chiefs W.R. Marcus Kemp was evaluated for a concussion in the second quarter. Kemp returned to the game and was soon flagged for making a helmet-to-helmet tackle on Toney as he fielded a punt. Ring of Honor: the Chiefs added longtime center Tim Grunhard to their Hall of Fame during a halftime ceremony. Grunhard started 164 of 169 games and appeared in the bowl once.